Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode 9, I think it is, of Pre-Order Power Hour, guys. How's everybody going today?
My hands hurt.
There was a lot of clapping done right before this recording. But we got Young Nate.
Hi.
We got 10/regular Nate.
Yo.
We got Funky.
I'm here for the coffee.
Possum. Funky's also going to be dying soon, so this is going to be his last episode on the pod.
For now.
Like, we might resuscitate him, meat puppet him.
Possibly.
We'll Winter Soldier him.
We might use the Dragon Balls to bring him back.
Yeah.
Who
knows? It's comics.
Exactly. And then there's me. It's me. Hey, guys. So we're just going to, start off like we usually do, a little bit, just brief segment of things we've been reading, watching. If we have time, we might talk about some news, some movie news, some comic book movie news and stuff like that. But and then like usual, we'll go straight into the books and stuff. So we'll let's just jump right into it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Young Nate, what you been reading and or watching recently? I know you've been a little busy.
What have I been? I've not had a lot of time to read, but I've been keeping up with the newer books. I read the new Transformers. That was kick-ass. It's cool to see Jorge Corona back, and he's killing it.
I didn't know he was back. Fuck yeah.
I read the new Batman Dark Patterns.
Oh, how
series.
was that? I've been meaning to read it.
Really good.
I love the artist.
I was really a fan when I was looking at the previews for it. Hayden Sherman's art in it is pretty top notch.
It's a little Salish at times. There's a couple panels where it's like some of the eyes and the way he draws Gordon.
It's very playful and organic, and it shows in how he lays out pages and just does panel work. Some really good stuff, and a very interesting new villain that I'm looking forward to seeing more of.
New villain.
What?
Original.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that one's pretty cool. And I've just been trying to watch more movies. Been trying to not do one every day, but try to get a good chunk every week.
I've been doing so bad with. I literally in November I watched like 2 or 3 movies.
Get your grind up, bro.
I've been watching shows.
I've
been watching a lot. I'll go straight into mine since I'm already talking. I've been watching. I've been watching 3 shows recently. I've been watching Grimm with Sierra.
Oh my god, yeah.
Great show.
That's
very good.
the fairy tale one.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's a it's like kind of like Supernatural, where it's like it's this dude. He's what's called a Grimm, which is like somebody who like kills and hunts these things called Vessen, which are like creatures that like are like animal things kind of, and like every episode is based on an old Grimm fairy tale, and it's like you're following the same guy, and it's like a detective story, and it's one of those shows where like every episode it just kind of gets better. Like at first I was like, okay, this is pretty good, and then we're like halfway through the season, and it's like really finding its footing. It's good.
Nice.
Then I'm watching. I've mentioned this before. I'm watching Glee right now on season 3.
Okay.
Great television.
First time, or is this
first
rewatch?
time? Okay. Sierra's watched it a few times.
Okay.
Dude, and it's crazy. Like I forget because TV is so short nowadays. You get 8 episodes, maybe 12 at max. Mm-hmm. Those they're like
episodes.
22 episode seasons. Yeah. Like we're
like that. That was what I grew up with.
100%.
Was like the 24 episode seasons.
Yes. And that's what they were gonna do with actually the new Daredevil show too. It was gonna be one 22 episode season, but they split it. So now it's gonna be half of that is gonna be season 1, then the other half is gonna be season 2. Fair. But and then I've been watching. I just bought a Blu-ray of it off eBay because it's not anywhere, and if you want to watch, you have to buy it individually, by episode. Fucking Future Man, I fucking love that show. It's with Funky's seen it. It's with fucking what the fuck is his name? Josh Hutcherson, the guy from Hunger Games. And he was in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And there was a meme going around.
The Hulu thing.
Yeah,
where he's.
Yes! Yeah, so
that's the one part you remember?
I watched the first episode. That's the main.
That is. It's one of my. I never finished it, but it's one of the.
It's Last Starfighter.
No, literally, in the episode, pretty much. Yeah, he's like, dude, that's the plot of The Last Starfighter, man. Because he's.
I've watched that.
It's great. I need to watch Last Starfighter, but Future Man's
fun.
So silly and funny.
We had free tickets.
I know. We definitely did.
But yeah, that's been great. And then reading wise, I'm gonna do this quick because recently I made a list of all the books I'm reading. So every episode I kind of
under 50.
It's under 50 books. I'm reading.
Wow.
But here, I'm just going to speedrun this. This is everything I'm reading. Get ready for this, guys.
This is a wrap up for the year, guys. This is the last podcast of the year. I
This
think we
is-
forgot to mention that.
This is the last
it
podcast
is.
of the year.
Damn, okay, yeah.
And then also, in the new year, we're going to be doing some, we're going to be reconstructing the plot a little bit. We're still going to be doing new books and stuff, but we're going to try to, expand our horizons a little bit. Do some other stuff, too. Maybe make some longer episodes, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really quick. I'm going to speedrun this. Here's everything I'm reading right now, guys. There might be there's some issue 1s that I have at my house that I haven't read yet, that I haven't put on here, because I don't know if I'm going to continue on with them. But this is everything I'm for sure reading at the moment. And there might be a couple things here that have ended already that I haven't taken off yet, but okay. Aliens vs. Avengers, Sentinels, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimates, Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, X-Men, Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, Batman and Robin Year 1, Batman Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age, Batman Full Moon, Batman Gargoyle of Gotham, Green Lantern Dark, Jenny Sparks, JSA, Multiverse Collision Detected, the last issue that already came out, Plastic Man No More, The Question, All on the Watchtower, Superman, Wonder Woman, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, Feral, Frankenstein, The Moon is Following Us, Transformers, Ultra Mega, Skin Police, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and The Missionary.
I will say you
Wow.
do get
Yeah,
points
that's-
stocked off because it wasn't alphabetized, but
Yeah.
It was alphabetized technically because it was DC, Marvel, Indie, and then licensed.
Okay. Oh wow.
So those sections
Alright,
individually
okay,
were
alright,
alphabetized.
okay.
So, but yeah, that's everything I'm reading right now, and I'm reading too much stuff, and I have a way too big of a stack at home. But so we'll go around to the next person in the circle. Funky, what you been? I know you haven't been reading a ton recently. What you been watching?
Yeah, I love The Penguin.
Ooh,
Yeah, that was really good. Agatha All Along was also really good, surprisingly.
Very good,
It
surprisingly.
was like, wow.
one of the best Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's-
yeah. That had surprisingly the most character development
Yeah.
for characters we do not know anything about.
That's what I've been hearing because usually, like, if a series is good, you don't hear the fans talk about it because it's like they want you to experience it.
Yeah.
And I've only heard like one thing,
It's great.
and yeah, like,
Like I would, if you haven't watched it or you're kind of on the fence of watching it, if
You should watch it.
Yeah, especially if you like witches, if you like that spooky, like it's pretty spooky. And dude, there, especially if you're a fan of like just kind of like there's a few episodes that like call back to old horror movies and old movies. Like there's one episode that is straight up shot like a giallo, it's shot like a 70s like Italian fucking horror movie. It's and the lighting is all red and blue and it's super disco and 70s. Like they just do a lot of playful stuff with the filmmaking and I really enjoy that. What else you been? Anything else recently, Funky?
I lost my train of thought. I was watching those. Skeleton Crew. We got to do that premiere.
yeah,
Yes.
That was a surprise hit for
Yeah.
me. I'm not the hugest Star Wars guy, and the last couple ones I haven't really been big on.
Mhm.
But I'm really enjoying the cast of this whole crew.
I gotta watch the new episode. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I just finished watching it yesterday. As far as reading anything, been a bad comic book guy. Mainly just been focused on like my own art and stuff.
Respect, you gotta do it sometimes.
Yeah, kind of planning out for next year already.
Yeah.
knocking out
Designer
some,
Con was cool.
knocking out some sketch covers.
Yeah, I got a ton of sketch covers.
Yeah.
Me
Now,
and
maybe
Funky,
we'll
me
have
and Funky
those
are
for,
going to be doing a solo joint exhibit next year.
It's a group show.
Okay, group show.
It's for the community. Yeah, I was planning out April through May, so lead into like Free Comic Book Day.
Can I do a Tom King style sketch cover where I just draw a stick figure?
God.
'Cause I
Absolutely.
can't draw. I think that'd be kind of funny if I get a random sketch cover and just draw like a silly stick figure of somebody.
You can submit it.
I'll submit it.
Funky, am I gonna have to clear all my submissions by you?
Yes.
Yes.
Damn.
But yeah, the 10. What you've been
your odds are
indulging
good.
in recently?
So I've been meaning to watch 1,000-Year Blood War for Bleach. So yeah, no, I've been holding off, but yeah, so I've been getting reignited with needing to read and watch Bleach. But yeah, no, so there was a video I was watching, and the person making it was just like, hey, so usually each season of 1,000-Year Blood War adapts 66 chapters. The final episode season, it's 33, and then I'm like, oh, that means original content, so they're going to go more into it and more fleshed out into it.
That's pretty
Possibly some more fight scenes. And it's funny that you mentioned the switching of episode formats.
Mhm.
So I've been watching so there's a content creator called Billiam, and he did a whole like Lost retrospective. It's like,
oh, that's a show I've been meaning.
Mhm.
Like eventually I need to get to because
yeah,
I've heard great things about like the first. I've heard it's like it starts phenomenal. I heard
Mhm.
some people aren't huge on the way it ends.
yeah,
But
no, it's
that's a lot
the
of
history and behind the scenes about it. It's very interesting, and
Was that Damon Lindelof?
yes, it was.
Yeah, and he's doing
It
the
was.
Lanterns.
Oh,
with
damn,
Tom King.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like the history and making behind it of just like them fighting with Disney to make it end like that.
Disney.
Yeah, no. So around the time, like
Oh,
it was
was-
being produced, it was Disney acquired ABC.
Oh.
Yeah. And
I
because
did not know that.
yeah, so because the first season was a hit, they're like, we want this to continue forever. And Lindelof was just like, no, you can't have a mystery go on forever.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
stupid.
solve it.
It's insane. But yeah, no. So like going into the history of it, like it was that 22 season format, but then the final 2 seasons were 16 episodes each.
Oh, so they
And-
cut it.
Yeah, so they cut it. So that usually people kind of that's the pinpoint of like when we went into more 16 episodes of like fleshing it out.
Interesting, and then it just got shorter and shorter. I
Yep.
feel like what was like the first? You know what I think it was, honestly, that I can think of in recent memory? I think the first really big show that was like 8 or 7 episodes was like, what, The Boys?
Yes.
The
yeah,
Boys
I
was
think
like
it
the first, I feel like, really,
The
really
Boys.
big show that was only like an
Mhm.
8-episode season.
Yep.
And it landed great, you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of shows started to kind of like, not copy that format, but
I-
like see inspiration in that.
I think at least like the BBC, they've been doing something like that. But at the same time,
Mhm.
their episodes are like an hour to 40 minutes
Yeah, like
long.
little
So
mini movies.
yeah, mini
Yeah.
movies.
The boys' episodes are long too.
They're like, about an hour.
So
long
yeah, it's
episode.
like at this point the trend is like an hour long. It's gonna be 8 episodes.
Yeah, you make it like episodic, a
yeah.
reason to tune in once a week.
Yeah.
You know.
But I miss that, like, like, remember, like, having like, 20... It's crazy how we used to have, like, 22-episode seasons
Mhm.
every year. Like, for
Yeah.
The Flash, you know what I mean? It would be, like, 22-episode season. Oh, you take a break for 6 months to 8 months, then you have another season.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
there's
Dana Ryder
always...
used to be a little bit better.
Exactly. And there's always so much but now it's like, you have The Boys, you have an 8-episode season, you gotta wait 2 years till the next 8-episode
Mhm.
season. Like, it's
By
very...
then, I'm over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting how much that's, like...
It's
The
definitely
whole format and that part of the industry of television has been shifting for so long.
yeah, it's very interesting because it's a double-edged sword. It's like you get your 22 like episodes, it's something that'll last you a year, but then like but if you have your 16 to 8 episodes, it allows the writers to cook a bit longer.
100%, and like spend more time on each script
Yeah.
and make sure each script itself is like something that shines.
But yeah, and also in terms of reading, so there's a new manga that came out called Nightlight Hounds.
Ooh.
It's interesting. So it's an alternate take on the 1920s.
Ooh, okay.
Like set in a New York-esque city. You're following like the main character. He's part of like the mob, and he kind of stumbles in and finds out, oh, vampires like help run the mob. Like, yeah. So
That's awesome.
it's very interesting, and so he's trying to kind of escape the city in the beginning because he's just like, they only treat us like cattle, and then it's like, oh wait, no, they literally treat us like cattle.
Dude, I'm just
And-
picturing like Goodfellas, but
Yes.
like for all my life, I've always wanted to be a vampire.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, like him stumbling into it, and then he kind of like falls into like there's a branch of the government
Mhm.
that they're like, we know vampires exist, and we're trying to like root them out. So we know you want to like get out of the city. Do you want to be like a rat for us and figure out like where each vampire is located so we can pick them off?
That's fucking sick. That sounds gonna be a great fucking. Is that a newer manga you said?
Yeah, newer manga.
That'd
It's
be a
only-
cool fucking anime.
Yeah, it's only 9 chapters in.
Oh shit. Okay.
It's very.
What was it called
very,
again? Midnight Hounds.
Nightlight Hounds.
Nightlight Hounds. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna-
very, like the art's amazing. Very like pretty close to like photorealistic. More on the realism.
Yeah.
The vampires look cool. Like
Fuck yeah.
it's more focused on like planning things out because it's just like we have to like sneak information to like him and then him like
Going kind of.
back and forth.
Yeah.
And then also discreetly killing these like gang members that are confirmed vampires.
Damn.
Like it's
That's pretty fucking hard.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Damn. Okay, well, I think that's a good little wrap up, little bow on the reading section. I don't know if we really have time to do more like news stuff right now. We'll probably just go into the books.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We'll say that for next time because, like I said, we're gonna do some restructuring on the podcast. So
and it might sound a little chaotic in here in a bit. We open in like 20 minutes, and we got the big holiday sale about to start.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I give it like an hour before it really starts.
Probably.
Yeah. So this might we're gonna try to go through this list. Maybe a little faster than usual.
Yeah.
But
if we're lucky, we'll get through it before a crowd starts showing up.
Yeah. So okay.
I did there.
But yeah. So we're gonna go straight into we're gonna start with indie books. I think you can probably start off talking about this guy. Well, because you're a fan of the creators. It's a new book from the people who did 8 billion genies.
8 billion. Genies.
And it's called Lucky Devils. And pretty much, it's. Do you guys know the premise of it or?
Yeah. I was just thumbing through it. I have the ash can right here that I'm probably gonna hoard because I do like Charles Soule's writing and Ryan Brown. I dig his artwork. This is very fun. He knows how to like really create a whole little world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about these two devils that are trying to corrupt as many souls as possible, and basically, what they're trying to take over.
They're trying to overthrow hell by like using their influence on people like on Earth.
Yeah, and what I'm intrigued by so far, because so far you're only introduced to 2 of the humans, and like they seem just like really good, upstanding citizens, and they're doing their best to like frustrate them as much as possible. Then they finally just kind of break character and like reveal themselves to like let them know like, hey, if you don't play along, we're just gonna make this worse. Like all those bad days, those were us.
You're just gonna get even worse than that.
Yeah, but like most of their books, I'm really intrigued to see all the other humans interactions we're gonna get because they're good at like making these like human stories.
Yeah. 100%.
And their goal is to corrupt, I think, was it 20 humans each or more or something like that?
I think so. Something along those lines.
Yeah. So I'm more intrigued with the interactions we're gonna get for the rest of the story.
Hell yeah. Anybody else want to say anything about the? No, okay.
Yeah.
We'll move on to the next book. This one is a new Rick Remender book. It looks really. It's called Seasons. It's very Something Wicked This Way Comes, if you guys ever read that book.
Oh, yes.
It's pretty much, it's these sisters called the Season Sisters. Like, their last name is Season.
Yeah, it looks kind of circusy.
Yeah, so pretty much their parents 10 years ago went missing. And, like, around 10 years after their parents went missing, there's a circus that pulls into town. And it's like I said, Something Wicked This Way Comes, where it's like a weird, dark circus carnival where weird stuff is happening inside. And it's, like, offering dreams to be fulfilled, but, like, you're probably gonna have to sell your soul or some shit like that, you know what I mean? And one of the sisters goes missing after she goes to the carnival or some shit like that. So now the other sister is trying to find her and has to like venture into this carnival and face whatever is kind of inside. And her name is Spring, which I think is really funny because I think they're named after seasons since their last name is Spring Season, which is such a funny fucking name. But it looks really interesting. I ordered myself a copy because I'm a sucker for like that carnival, like dark circus aesthetic. I don't know why I've always liked that, but it looks really interesting. And I know Rick Remender is a great. What else is he? I know that he's written
Black Science.
Oh yeah, just
he just did the Gromit series that wrapped
up.
That was one of his more lighthearted, fun series. But normally. Yeah, he's the best at writing like characters that are kind of jerks.
I love Black Science.
He did an X-Force book, I think, too, or Uncanny.
Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah. Oh, he did that's the book I was thinking about.
Yeah.
That's the one, the omnibus you have in your poll.
Yeah, he does a ton. Yeah. Like, I swear that man has like 6 books a year. Easy.
Yeah. That's something. I see his name on so many things that it's like I forget what they all are because I get them all fucking jumbled up in my head.
Yeah, he's a vet.
Yeah. But, okay, next book we're going to move on to. This is the next book. I don't know if it's the next book or one of the next books in the Horizon experiment, which is a new thing Image is doing.
I still don't know what that is.
I can tell you exactly what it is. So pretty much it was an initiative set by a group of writers at Image who are all come from different ethnic backgrounds. And they had an idea of, like, taking stories and characters that are very, like, for example, one of them that came out recently was, I forget what it was called, The Sacred Damned, where the whole plot of that was, like, what if John Constantine was like a Middle Eastern woman and it dealt more with like Arabic and like Islamic lore and like those demons, like jinn and shit like that. And in this book, and it's kind of like taking things like this book, right? Is Indiana Jones, but she's Puerto Rican, and
You're
she's not
raising your
Indiana
hand.
Jones.
Yeah.
One second, but and it's like it's basically taking stories and very classic stories, very classic characters, and seeing how different those type of archetypes would be if they were this specific ethnicity, and seeing how that the ethnicity of this character changes who they are and what the story would be. And all of them are backdoor pilots for their own series, pretty much.
Which that's very like manga inspired, where
Mm-hmm.
you present a one shot, and if the readers like it, that's when like the publisher's like, yo, you can now do an ongoing.
Like the first one was The Manchurian, and that one was what if James Bond was Chinese. And then it's not those characters, like it's not James Bond, but it's like that archetype
character type. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
And then like this one is, like I said, it's a Puerto Rican woman who's like an Indiana Jones character, but reverse. For what she goes to museums and steals things that have been stolen and takes them back to where they're supposed to be. So instead of like going to take things and taking them to a museum, it's like the reverse.
So it's gonna be set in Great Britain, I'm assuming.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna say, is there any connectivity?
No, they're all
from the
completely
stories?
separate.
Oh, they're all separate.
That's
That's the main thing I was wondering, because there's so many little pocket universes being formed now, like with like the Geiger stuff. And
Yeah, no, they're
other
all
things.
their own
There was,
individual.
like, is Horizon another thing?
It
But
was-
backdoor pilots makes sense.
That's they're all everything a part of the Horizon experiment is a backdoor pilot for its own series, and like I forget what there's a few more, but they look very. The Sacred Dam was really cool actually. I really hope that one gets more stuff because that character they were setting up is really fun. But yeah, that one's really interesting. Oh, I just realized I have not been taking the release dates. I'm gonna track back a little bit, guys. Lucky Devils,
no
that
problem.
book comes out January 8th, and Seasons comes out January 15th, and then Finders Keepers is gonna release that same day, which is the Indiana Jones style one. But I'm really excited about that one. That one seems very interesting, especially Puerto Rican represent.
3 books? Sorry.
And then next one, I don't know if you might know a little bit about this, Funky. I'm not super versed in Spawn stuff, but this is Spawn No Home Here,
Yeah,
number
Spawn.
1.
I know a little bit
Yeah,
about it.
so-
I mainly know about like Billy Kincaid.
That's
Yeah.
exactly, because it comes
Because
out.
that was the first major Spawn arc.
Really? Okay, so
Yeah.
this book comes out January 22nd, and
Yeah.
it's following Shirley Johnson, who I guess was the 7-year-old victim of Billy Kincaid.
Yeah, so if you don't know who Billy Kincaid was,
I do not.
He was like a pedophile serial killer kind of. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a scum of the earth guy.
Yeah, it was,
and it was one of the first people that Spawn took out. You know?
Yeah, major
Okay.
one. Like, and it kind of jump
It was
started.
rad. It was
yeah,
just
it was very
hung,
cool. Yeah.
a bunch of chains everywhere and popsicle sticks like shoved through his body. 'Cause
That's
he was an ice cream man who was kidnapping kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah, and like his death kind of led into more things because you find out like Billy Kincaid was like the son of a major like corporation. Like,
And then that brought in the mob too, and
So that was just the start
It
of, like,
was
a
a
whole-
snowball effect to other villains and stuff
Interesting.
coming
Yeah.
into the scene.
God damn. Okay, that's fucking interesting.
like he
He eventually came back too
Yeah.
as another house spawn.
really?
yeah, because the whole point of like Spawn being on Earth is to kill off people, which then adds to the armies of hell. So
what the fuck? That's gonna bother me. What's his name? The guy who he serves. The guy who's
Malboja.
Malboja. God damn it!
Malboja.
It was on the tip of my fucking tongue. But yeah, that's and then so it's pretty much gonna be about her, and it's gonna be like it's just a new epic chapter in the Spawn universe that's like exploring this girl.
Yeah, there's been.
So was she like the person? Was he like going to kill her and then Spawn like saved her by killing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And showing like how maybe those events like haunt her or something. It's gonna be a mini.
Yeah, it's a good way to kind of bring people back to OG Spawn stories.
Yeah.
Because with King Spawn coming out and now the movie King Spawn eventually coming out, you're gonna get more people figuring out who Spawn is.
Yeah,
And maybe
yeah.
want to, they're giving people a reason to look back at older issues.
100%.
And I think on top of like images, like $10 trade initiative. That's go like because I think the first volume does end with like Kincaid getting killed.
Was that the end of the first volume?
Yeah, end of the first volume.
Well, then that's a great fucking especially like, you can pretty much go like almost straight probably in from that book into this book.
Yep.
Damn. Okay. Next book we're going to talk about, I don't really know a lot about this. I don't know how much you guys do.
We're going back to the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah. Oh, and also that Spawn book releases on the 22nd of January. And this book, yeah, we're talking about Lenore. It's called Lenore: The Time War. They're bringing back this older series. I've never really had a lot of experience with it, but it comes out January 29th. Do any of you guys want to, a little bit about Lenore?
I don't know much. I just know she's like a creepy little girl.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a goth comic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like, I would say almost like the prototype / inspiration for things that came out later, like Emily Lestrange, like.
Yeah,
it was
Invader
like
Zim.
Yeah,
well,
it was
like the art style reminded me a bit of Invader Zim. I thought for a second I thought it was the same guy, but it's not.
No, yeah, it's this is literally like
I think it predates it.
Yeah, at least
Okay.
like I had to look it up. It started in I believe 1998.
Okay, so late 90s. That makes sense.
So late 90s.
That's the aesthetic of it feels a bit like late
So
90s.
like the beginning of cutesy bizarre.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, she's like.
Was that the same time as like the Addams Family movies? Because weren't the Addams Family movies like
Yes,
mid to late 90s? Like the
Similar,
remakes?
yeah.
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of vibe, that like spooky, weird.
Yeah,
kinda...
so like the goth comedy,
yeah,
like macabre comedy.
that's that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, she's this little creepy girl. She loves cats so much that she hugs them to death.
And it's the first Lenore book in 7 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
They make trade paperbacks. We just I think we just got in like the best of in stock.
Yeah, it was a nice thick hardcover.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
and we've had some older ones, but usually people find that they swoop it up.
Yeah.
If that's their jam,
Hell yeah. And that book is coming out, like I said, on the 29th. But this next one I'm going to go through pretty quick. I just thought it looked interesting. It's probably one I'm going to pick up. It's called Blood Train. It released on the 29th. So it's a bunch of these, like, it says it's like 28 Days Later meets The Ruins. I haven't seen The Ruins or 28 Days Later.
You haven't seen The Ruins?
No.
I think you'll love The Ruins.
Okay.
It's what's his name? Director. You like him.
I do?
He's on your phone.
Del Toro?
Del Toro?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
He produced it.
Oh, produced it. Okay, I didn't say he directed it. That makes sense.
but it was like his baby. Like he.
Okay.
Yeah, he liked it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like vampires taking over the world. This is gonna be a magazine size too,
It's
just to
Image
let
magazine
everybody
size.
know.
I was gonna bring that up. It's at the bottom. I was gonna put that. It's a magazine size book, and it's pretty much like a group of friends who are on the Siberian Express. They're like fucking on a vacation, but one of them is infected with like a bioweapon that like turns them into a monster and could very likely somehow. Basically, they're saying like this bioweapon is the catalyst for World War III breaking out in Europe. So it also feels a little bit like Train to Busan,
Busan,
a little
yeah.
like Train to Busan-esque, but where it's like kind of a big apocalyptic kind of thing. Very much could start from this, but and the art looks cool. It looks gory. It looks bloody. It's a one shot, so it's like just one book and that's it. And that releases on the same day as Lenore on the 29th. But I thought it looked very interesting. Next book, I did not know a lot about. I've been seeing ads for it, but I'm kind of excited about it now, and I ordered myself a copy.
Same.
Called Bug Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's new Jason Aaron book, and it comes out February 12th. And it's a kid from Alabama who... It kind of feels like it sounds like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but like if it was like an action.
Witches and stuff.
Well, because I'm just gonna read the description. It says Slade Slaymaker, which is a crazy fucking name. Slade Slaymaker is a kid from Alabama, simply lost in a vicious world beyond his imagining. A world of marauding ant armies, spell-casting spider witches, and beetle-riding barbarians. A kingdom of tiny and deadly warriors hidden in his own backyard. From superstar team Jason Aaron and artist Mahad Assar. I don't know how to say his name.
He did Miles for a while.
Oh, okay. But it looks really... So it's pretty much, it's like he gets shrunk down, and it's like all these bugs have like crazy civilization. The thing that sold me was spellcasting spider witches. I read that, and I was like, okay, I gotta know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome. And
That's
it's
why
just-
you don't kill spiders.
Yes.
They're fucking witches, bro.
They'll curse you.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought that sounded crazy and really fun.
Same, and I'm a sucker of like the tiny adventure kind of series, especially when you mix in like fantasy and stuff.
100%.
You're an Ant-Man man?
Yeah, I'm an Ant-Man man. I mean, that was
Ant-Man
originally
man.
like my when I was working my degree, I wanted to be an entomologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
rad.
Like, yeah, no.
Is that the official term for studying ants?
It's a subcategory, but entomology is just the study of insects.
Insects, okay.
Okay, hell yeah. Well, that's the last indie book. A lot of these are from indie companies, but now we're moving on to licensed stuff. So if you like licensed stuff, First
now
book.
moving on to opening the register.
So young Nate will be working a little bit. He might pop in occasionally,
Yeah,
but
you might be hearing bells and cha-chings and register poppings. But
possibly.
Yeah.
But
What the hell is Silverhawks?
so Silverhawks is the first licensed book we're talking about. It's comes out on the 29th. And it's based on an old 80s cartoon, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically space, like, police.
It's like Green Lanterns.
It very much is Green Lanterns.
Okay.
They are fighting...
I like space.
Yeah. Yeah, they fight, like, this intergalactic mob boss.
Yeah,
like,
so the book, what it sounds like, is that mob boss guy, he, like, breaks out of... The space mob boss. He breaks out of prison, and he's going after the former members of the Silverhawks, and, like, the main guy has to, like, reform them. Like, reform the Silverhawks, because they've been disbanded for a long time, and he's going to try to get them together and go stop this intergalactic... The phrase intergalactic mob boss is fucking crazy. That's Jabba the Hutt, pretty much.
Yeah, it's literally...
Like,
it's just Jabba.
That sounds like a sick album.
Yeah,
right?
Dude, that would be...
Intergalactic mob boss. That would also be a crazy name for, like, a band.
Oh my god,
That's
a good band.
We're intergalactic mob boss! But yeah, it looks...
Speaking about another intergalactic mob boss.
Kind of. He's kind of a mob boss. Like, more of a political leader.
More like a warlord, you know.
Yeah,
from,
but
like,
it was a good transition.
Yeah.
The next licensed book we're talking about, releasing on February 5th, is Star Wars: Legacy of Vader, which is pretty much it's Kylo Ren going to Mustafar and going to Vader's castle and like learning more information about Vader and stuff like that. Like during the height of, I think it maybe takes place between it's either before Force Awakens or between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. I think. One of those is at some point in that general time period.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, all the Star Wars books we're going to be getting from now on are supposed to be taking place after the original trilogy.
Yeah, it's
pretty much,
supposed to be kind of filling in the gaps of like.
And it seems like it's going to be sporadic, stuff that's like somewhat immediately after, and then stuff that's like before Rise of Awakens and stuff and all that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to bank on it being like the Clone Wars animation series.
100%, where it's just different stories.
It's stories and also a way to try to repair like plot points.
100%. But that one's going to be coming out February 5th. Next one I'm talking about, I'm just going to go with this one pretty quick. It's another one-shot. It's a Creepshow Valentine's Day special called Creepshow in Love. One of the reasons I'm talking about this is mainly just because of the teams that are on it. So Mirko Andolfo is doing a story in it, which is pretty cool, from Sweet Paprika. One I'm really excited about, Patrick Horvath, who did Beneath the Trees. He's doing a story in there, which I'm really excited about. And then the last one is by Yul Pyong-oh. I'm not exactly familiar with them, but they're doing another story too. And it's called, I guess, Penguin Adventure, which I think it sounds like an awesome name. And the other two is Madness of Two. Oh my god, my ringer just went off. Madness of Two, and what's the first one called? It's going to be called... No, Madness for Two is the one by Mirko Andolfo, and the other one is called Cursed Casanova, which is pretty cool. But so if you like Creepshow, you like kind of love horror stories, you like any of those series that any of those people have been a part of, make sure to give that one an order. I'm really excited about that one. That's coming out February 12th. This one's really cool. This next one, coming out February 19th.
It's such a
so it's called Godzilla Heist.
Yeah.
So it's about a dude who can he has like this device or he has something that can, when he activates it, it like lures Godzilla wherever he is. So he uses Godzilla as like the distraction for heists. So he'll pretty much like use this thing, have Godzilla come and start destroying stuff, and while everybody's distracted with that, he'll go steal stuff and like pull off a heist.
Can we get the -1 director to make
Oh my god, yes.
Dude, that'd be
Ocean 11s?
Yeah.
No,
with
Godzilla, dude.
God.
And then pretty much what it sounds like is that
Ocean -11?
He's been like doing this by himself, but a group of other criminals find out about what he's doing and like forces him to like help them on a heist. And it's like a really crazy, dangerous heist. And that's like the plot of the book pretty much.
It's such a very Showa era like concept.
100%.
I forgot which movie it was, but they did something similar to that where they did like, oh yeah, no, like kaijus are wrecking this area because like there's a signal.
Yeah. They did that in they just did that too in Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, okay.
That was a plot point in Godzilla versus Kong too, where it was like the government was like letting off something that was making Godzilla go places and like destroy it and stuff like that. Forgot about that. But next one we're talking about, I just thought this was kind of cool. It's a new Stranger Things book, but it's Stranger Things D&D. So it's pretty much a prequel to season 4. If you watch Stranger Things, about like how certain characters kind of met in certain relationships that were formed. But like throughout the book, we'll also be seeing like the D&D campaign that they're playing, and like it'll get like you'll see like their characters like going through the story of it and stuff like that. So.
This is cool, especially if you're a fan of what's his name, the leader of the Hellfire Club, our future Johnny Storm.
Eddie Munson.
Yeah,
and the book is about how like he met the other Stranger Things kids and like how they became friends and like when they joined up with his D&D campaign and stuff like that. But yeah, and then the next book, another Godzilla book actually, last of licensed books we'll be talking about is Godzilla versus America, Godzilla versus Chicago. And it seems like each issue is going to be drawn by somebody and written by somebody from that city. Like this is going to be like Chicago comic creators, and it's them like, what if Godzilla came to Chicago and he's wrecking stuff? And then the next, I think they're going to do like a New York one, like a Los Angeles one, and they're going to be like probably by writers and artists from those specific cities, which I think is really cool. So it's going to be cool seeing Godzilla destroy some lovely monuments that people often care about.
Yeah, when he hits LA, would be like, oh, yeah, I know that place.
But I just Godzilla stuck in traffic.
Just standing there like, God fucking.
He's really polite. He could easily step over them, but no, he's.
No, I could see it being like a panel of somebody frustrated in traffic,
and then they just get stepped on.
Yeah,
or like the car in front of them gets stepped on, like a giant foot just crashes down. Oh my God. But then now that's going to be the last licensed book. We're going to be moving on to Marvel. We're about halfway through the books right now. We're starting with... Oh, I got a burp.
Wolverine!
First book we're talking about, releasing January 15th, is Ultimate Wolverine #1. It's going to be written by the guy who wrote That Texas Blood and drawn by Alexandro Cappuccio, who's doing Moon Knight right now. He's been doing Moon Knight for a bit, and I've been wanting to get into something that he's drawn for a while because I love his art.
His art is amazing.
Yeah, so
it fits. It'll fit that just brutal
100%.
So like all these other absolute and ultimate titles, make sure you put this on pre-order with us.
Yes, please.
Because it is going to be flying.
100%. It's like it's coming out January 15th. It's going to be a 12-issue mini. It's not going to be an ongoing, so make sure to put your orders in for that guy. It's going to be, and it's pretty much, if you don't know, Wolverine in this universe has been used as the Winter Soldier by the Maker. He's like the Maker's ultimate weapon. Like whenever he needs somebody kind of taken out, he'll contact his people who rule over Russia, and they have Wolverine, who's the Winter Soldier. And I think that's really cool. And really, so the book is really probably going to be about like him trying to like reclaim his own like identity and like, personality as a person and not just a weapon. Yeah. Which I think is a fun parallel to like all the Weapon X stuff like that. Even in this universe, he's being used. But that's coming out, like I said, January 15th. So be sure to place your orders in for that guy.
That's the universal constant for Logan.
Yeah, he's always just being used
as weapon because he's too good. He's too good at what he does.
He's too goddamn good.
He's the best, some would say.
Yeah, and yeah. but yeah, and then the next one we're going to be talking about is going to be what are the books a part of like the
Doom!
The new Doom arc in Marvel right now. So this is going to be a series of, I guess, team-ups with Dr. Doom by J. Michael Straczynski. In this one, the first one is going to be Dr. Doom and Rocket Raccoon, which is kind of crazy. It's coming out January 22nd. And what it sounds like is that pretty much Dr. Doom needs to do one of the things he hates doing, and that's asking for a favor. And he asks Rocket Raccoon for some sort of favor to do something for him. We don't know what it is, but he has to, like... He needs, for some reason, specifically needs Rocket.
I feel like he's just entertained by, like, talking raccoon.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it.
This amuses Doom.
I mean, he had a shitty childhood.
He
so
definitely did.
Yeah, let him talk to a raccoon.
Yeah. Exactly.
With a gun.
With a gun, big gun.
You know what? It fits. It's the childhood dream with, like, mass murdering.
Exactly.
Can you imagine when he was, like, when he was just growing up as a kid, he just had, like, a stuffed raccoon.
Dude, Dr. Doom and Rocket Raccoon just...
It's my safety animal.
Right?
He locks him away just so he can go talk to him.
Single teardrop.
Oh my god. I just picture, like, a young Dr. Doom, like a little baby, but he still has, like, the Doom mask on. Oh my god. But that book is going to be releasing January 22nd. One after that is Ultimates issue number 9, which releases February 5th. And the reason we're talking about this one is because it's going to be the first appearance of Ultimate Luke Cage.
Fro or no fro?
No fro.
Okay.
And
Okay.
from what it sounds like is that similar to Spider-Man, he's one of the people who had like the kind of floating orb come to him and tell him about his past.
Interesting. Okay.
And he also accepted what he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
But then after that, got sent to prison. But from prison, he's been like orchestrating things to take down the Maker. He's been like kind of trying to like he's still been working on taking down the Maker and like going against the Maker, but from inside prison somehow.
But yeah, no, that's actually pretty cool. Like, I can imagine, yes, if you're in prison with a bunch of like superheroes and supervillains, like you get information.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And it's pretty weird. He's trying to sabotage the council from behind bars. That's what it says in the description.
Cool.
Which I love.
Cool.
Maybe the Maker owes him $50.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Dude. Yeah, no, like, dude, he's going to steal the Fantastic car and he's going to drive over to the Maker's orb.
Is that what happened? And that he stole the Fantastic
Oh, yeah, no.
car?
The second part is literally just like.
How much is that issue? Do we have it?
We have it. No, we do.
How much do we have it priced at?
I
don't know.
I don't know,
I
but it's such a great issue because
it's not crazy expensive.
It's
that's
not,
when I probably
It's
actually
like 50 to 80 or
I
something.
probably actually
the main thing
buy
is
that
like
with my
it's
discount.
because it's a two-parter, and like
Okay.
we don't have the first part, but the second part is just great because it's just like Reed's looking at the security cams. He's like, "What the hell is Luke Cage doing? Why is he breaking into the Baxter building?"
Dude, that would be such a funny, like imagine like it would never happen, but imagine if that was the plot for a Luke Cage movie.
Oh, I would love
Was
that.
Luke Cage like realizing that like wait a minute, dude never gave me that money. Hold on, he sends him like an email, like, hey dude, it's been a while, but like just wondering if you can send me that money and stuff like that. Gets like an automated message back from Latveria. It's like, we're not giving you shit, bro. And then he just goes crazy and goes to fucking Latveria. It's amazing. But that's all besides the point.
Yeah, I would watch it. I would absolutely watch it. Like, it's classic Marvel history.
So the next book we're going to be talking about, releasing February 12th, is very interesting. It's
Eddie.
Oh yeah,
Eddie Brock Carnage. So Carnage, the new host of Carnage, is Eddie Brock, and it happened at the end. I guess they fused at the end of Venom War.
Yes.
And it was pretty much a situation where Eddie was dying, and Carnage was dying, and Carnage was like, "Yo, dude, you want to not die? I kind of don't want to die. Why don't we work together?"
In a very iconic kind of location. Eddie's at like a church.
Yeah,
and dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like when he got the Venom symbiote.
Yeah. And now they have to like reluctantly work together but like Eddie very much does not want to murder innocent people and eat them but Carnage is like fine, he's like, okay, I still got to kill people though.
Yeah.
So they're like hunting down specifically like really bad people for them to like murder and probably eat.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And it's weird seeing because on the cover it's like you see like half of the face is missing and you see Eddie Brock there and you see the tuft of blonde hair poking out and it just throws me off seeing blonde hair on Carnage.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's an interesting change. You know what I mean? Like
it's almost like bringing back like Lethal Protector, where it's just like he's a good guy, but he's brutal and he eats brains.
And isn't like
and it's a way to keep Carnage alive because like.
And is it Cletus? Like, is it like Cletus's consciousness that is Carnage?
attached.
Right? They're like one kind of. So
it's weird.
that's what
like,
because like Cletus in Eddie's head. Like talking, well, they probably fused into more one being, less than
the latest Carnage Lord is odd. Like there's
because he died.
Yeah,
Cletus is long gone.
Yeah, like
the last time he came back, he was basically a zombie.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think with the last Carnage run, Carnage made like a Cletus clone that thinks it's Cletus. Like it's odd. It's odd. Yeah,
it's very comic book.
Yeah, it's very very comic book.
But that's a very interesting one. But we're gonna move on to the next three books.
Doom.
The next three actually are all Doom related in some way or another. They're all gonna be a part of the new One World Under Doom stuff, which is this is exactly what the book is called that we're talking about. One World Under Doom, which is the actual main series releasing February 12th. Which sounds okay. So pretty much after Bloodhunt and Doctor Strange became Sorcerer Supreme, he just like isolated himself in Latveria and nobody heard from him. He was just like gone. And then at some point, he broadcasts a message to the entire world, all the world leaders, and is like, yo, I rule the world now. I'm the emperor of the world. And that's just how it is. And the world is going to be a better place now because I'm Sorcerer Supreme and I'm going to make sure the world's safe and it's going to be a peaceful place. Mm-hmm. And he, like, I don't know if he discusses more with all the world leaders and stuff, but, like, most of every world leader just complies.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay.
It's a good callback because there was that one issue where, like, I think it was the Watcher or somebody, like, where Doom was talking with them, and they're like, yeah, one of the few ways that the world will know peace is
through Doom.
Is
like,
through Doom.
And that it's just like, it's crazy because he's like, it's But pretty much all the world leaders are complying except for the heroes, and all the heroes like, bro, this can't. We're not letting this happen, which is crazy because in a way, that means the heroes are kind of
the bad guys.
they're going to be labeled as terrorists, pretty much, because there's a dude who is just the ruler of the world now, and everybody's fine with it, and everything is like going pretty well and being pretty peaceful. Like, and he's like doing his job. Like, he's not doing certain things himself. Like, if he has he's having Spider-Man do stuff for him, and other people do stuff for him. But like, he's still technically doing what he needs to do to like keep the world safe. And it is like we do know that's kind of like what he wants.
Yeah,
he's like I need like. I'm the only way the world can thrive and survive. And I think that they're finally going forward with a story arc like that and making it a big thing. I think that's going to be really interesting. I would imagine at the end of this book, like, the heroes just don't win. Like, what if Doom stays the world leader for a while?
Either that or they do win and then everything goes
like,
back.
I wouldn't be surprised, if either or would be, like,
especially him being Sorcerer's Supreme. It's just something else really maleficent.
Dude, and you know who's probably gonna fuck it all up? Reed.
Oh yeah, Richards.
His own egotistical mind of him not being the one and Doom being higher than him is probably just
eating him.
Yeah, exactly. I just think it's gonna be really interesting. And it's gonna be written. I don't know who's writing it actually. But I'm really, really excited about that. I think it's going to be really, really interesting.
And it's really kind of rare to get a good Doom book.
Yeah, like
I feel like it happens like every 5 years or maybe.
Because then he'll just pop up occasionally, be like Richards.
But I hate you.
And the next one I'm pretty excited about, but I want to read, but I'm not caught up.
I'm curious.
So it's going to be Doom Academy, which is it's going to be
teaching all the kids how to do the dive kick.
But pretty much, it's the Academy, Strange Academy, is renamed Doom Academy and relocated to Latveria from New Orleans. And it's all of the kids' second year. Because Strange Academy and then Strange Academy Finals chronicled their whole first year at Strange Academy. And now their second year goes straight into Doom.
Yeah, and at least like the Strange Academy Finals, it left a lot of things open. So it's going to be very interesting.
100%.
And especially Doom's background of being knowing magic and stuff. It's going to be very...
I just can't wait for, he's, teaching the kids, and, one of them does something wrong, and he's just bah! And, backhands them or something, do it again! It's going to be... It's I like that they're using the same characters, too, that it's not, a new group of kids who, Doom recruited. It's the same kids, and they have to, deal with, oh, wow, okay, we're the headmaster is fucking Dr. Doom. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But,
it's like getting a crazy substitute teacher.
Oh, yeah. It literally is. It literally is.
No, for real.
Yes, that substitute teacher who was, a non-veteran.
It's a substitute teacher day, and you're like, fuck yeah, we might watch a movie. Nope.
It's going to be more intense than regular fucking class. But, and then the next... And that's
Field
coming
trip
out...
to hell.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I forgot the... One World Under Doom, that comes out February 12th, and then the week after is going to be Doom Academy, February 19th. And then this book, which is, I did not realize it was going to be a tie-in to all the Doom stuff, but they're doing a Red Hulk series, which is going to be a mini, starting February 26th.
That's crazy. I honestly thought they were going to be more tying it into, the movies, because that's usually how comics go. It's new movie coming out, we're going to bring in a character that's from the movie.
Yeah, but it was we're having this character in a movie, we're also having this event, we'll just, mix that together.
Yeah, I mean, they already have the Captain America book that is tied to the movie.
Yes, well, it's not tied to it, but it's similar.
It's similar, yeah. But so I feel like this is just kind of reintroducing Red Hulk because he's going to be in the movies, but incorporated into the main
and it's probably going to be I bet you that book is going to lead into this book because Red Hulk is in that book because this book is pretty much Red Hulk is imprisoned. He's prisoner of Dr. Doom in a giant underground prison that he's made called the Think Tank. And he's having them held against their will, and he's forcing them to carry out his own plans of global domination. He's forcing these prisoners to work for him, pretty much. But Red Hulk is trying to basically it seems to maybe start like a coup from the inside and like kind of like having other plans and not gonna help Doom.
Yes, so at least with the previews, it sounds like it's a mix of like Ross hulking out, but also still doing like military tactics.
Yeah, because that's probably what he wants him for. He wants Thunderbolt Ross for his military tactics and wants to be like, yo, I need you to help me with this.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. I like that he's like, and I love that he's like imprisoning all of them. Like, hey, yeah, you guys got to do this for me. Sorry. But yeah,
This is kind of like a Suicide Squad.
except you guys just like sit in a boardroom and talk.
Yeah.
If you try to leave the room, I'll blow you up.
Yeah.
But catering.
We got cookies, guys.
Yeah, no, like Doom is a savage. Like, he won't put a bomb in your head.
Doom enjoys the finer things of life.
Exactly. Alrighty, that's gonna be the end of the Marvel section. We're gonna be moving on to DC, and then after that we have some free comic book day stuff.
Oh my
Pretty
God.
much,
Can you believe it?
it's already it's
We're
coming
already
up.
going to be
Crazy.
teasing free comic book day.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. But for the DC stuff right now, there's not a bunch of stuff. It's it's shorter than some of the other sections, I think. Is it actually? Yeah, it's actually longer. Never mind.
Oh, DC?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but I
some of
feel
these-
like there's going to be titles
Eh,
like
it-
Aquaman. They
Yo.
were just going to like run through.
Yeah, true. Well, that's gonna be the next one we talk. No, we'll talk about Aquaman now. Well, since we brought it up already, so Aquaman's gonna be coming out January 8th, and that's just a new Aquaman title. It's gonna be he's got his powers and everything back from Absolute Power and stuff like that, and it's him. I guess there's like a giant. The first issue is gonna have a giant like water construct kaiju or something that he has to fight, and like he has like, and it's gonna be exploring I guess the blue. Which is like, because
Okay,
there's like, the red, the green, the rot, and the blue. So it's going to be focusing. I like that.
That makes
that's gonna be
sense.
very
That makes
interesting.
sense. Like, yeah.
And it's going to be the guy who's been on The Flash recently, Jeremy Adams, and it's going to be drawn by John Timms, who was doing Action Comics for a little bit.
Cool.
But that's coming out January 8th. But the week before that, the first week of January, the first day of January, actually, we're going to be getting Justice League: The Atom Project, which is going to be a mini-series following the Atom and Captain Atom, who are working together. Pretty much it's because a lot of the superheroes, Absolute Power lost their powers. And a lot of people got them back afterwards, but after the event, certain powers were switched. Like some people got the wrong powers, and some people didn't get their powers back at all. So they're building a machine and these things that can basically locate the powers, and they're trying to relocate them and get everybody back to where they were supposed to be. Like, that's, like, this whole initiative. But Captain Atom currently doesn't have his powers, I guess, and he's trying his fucking damnedest to not get his powers back and keep them hidden. Even though he's working on the project trying to find them. So it's like he's kind of, like, he's helping other people get their powers back, but he wants, like, no part of it. He does not want his powers back.
Which makes sense for him as a character, where he's literally just living energy.
Yeah.
And,
Dude, he's been the villain of the Jenny Sparks book.
Oh, interesting.
And that's been my favorite interpretation of Captain Atom I've ever seen. Because he's pretty much a Captain Atom who's completely lost it and is broke, and he thinks he's like a god. And he's like in a bar, like with a bunch of people hostages, and he's just like talking to them and like basically trying to prove to them that he's a god and he wants to be worshipped. He's like look at all the stuff I can do. Like he killed somebody and brought them back. He killed the entire Justice League in the last issue. He killed Superman and Batman and the Flash and all of them are dead pretty much. Like it's a Black Label book, so they can do whatever. Yeah. But like it's interesting seeing how powerful because he's basically, if you think about it, he's kind of Dr. Manhattan.
He is.
Yeah, because that was the original inspiration.
Because
which is so interesting, but that they don't, and I think you never see him like using his abilities in interesting ways like that.
He's one of those characters that's so OP that it's hard to write him.
Yeah, because usually people, I just see him like pew pew shooting things out of his hands and like blowing up and stuff.
Or they use him as an atomic bomb.
Yeah, didn't they in Flashpoint? Wasn't it? Yeah. Which is pretty cool. I think that's really sick.
But also like how do you let them do that?
That's very true. But and I think that's really interesting. And Dan Moore is doing the B cover.
Nice.
And I'm gonna be getting that. It's like it's like you're looking through a microscope, and it's the Atom, and I think it's two Atoms. I think it's maybe Ryan Choi and Ray Palmer. I think it's maybe both of them as the Atom, but I'm not sure. But we started talking about Aquaman already. The Justice League book's releasing on the 1st. The next one we're talking about is Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum, which I think is either a one-shot or a mini. That's releasing January 8th. And it's introducing a new type of lantern called the Fractured Lantern.
Which
I don't necessarily know what that is.
That's very interesting because, again, it's, light spectrum, fractured lights, and stuff like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And it's kind of spinning off of the storyline that just happened in Civil Core, which I wasn't personally following, but I'm assuming that there was some drama in the Green Lantern Corps, and
Always
is.
Yeah.
And this is gonna kind of start like setting up. Pretty much, this is gonna set up. I'm pretty sure a book we're gonna be talking about later, which is a new Green Lantern book that we'll get to. But it's pretty much this new Lantern Corps being explored, and they're like uncontrollable beings, pretty much, that they're manifesting from parts of the emotional spectrum. So I don't know if it's like literal manifestations of emotion. Like literally, it's like the spectrum is fractured, so it's like it's creating constructs that are living. I don't know if it's like that, but very interesting. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested about that one. That seems very cool. And after that, releasing on that book is coming out on the 8th, and then releasing on the 22nd of January is a facsimile of I realize it doesn't have it's pretty much they're doing a facsimile of the race of the Flash in Superman. But it's going to be one of the big, I'm pretty sure, like the magazine-sized ones. Not the magazine, the oversized ones, like they did with the Muhammad Ali Superman one, and they did with the Wonder Woman one.
Well, I mean, those were oversized.
And was that original one oversized too?
No.
It says limited edition, like I'm assuming, and what it sounds like it's going to be one of the oversized ones. I think they're reprinting it as an oversized one, or because they're not calling it a facsimile, they're calling it a limited edition facsimile, like it's like a special one. So I'm pretty sure they're doing it in a big size. I think. I might be wrong, but there's gonna be something else to it. But I mean, they're gonna have all the original things. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna have in the back of it, they have like drawings of the Fortress of Solitude, like sketches by Neil Adams, and they have like a how to draw the Flash thing. And there's also, I guess, like they in the thing, it's like, oh, make sure to buy 2 copies so you can cut out the tabletop diorama on one of them, and like stuff like
and
that.
Not feel guilty. About
Exactly. So they definitely buy 2 copies. Come to the shop, and when we have them, totally buy 2, 3, maybe 4 copies of it.
Cut them all out.
Exactly.
Like, make us sad.
But that's going to be interesting. That releases on the 22nd. And then the next book we got that's releasing on the 29th, the week after, they're doing a Superman Lex Luthor special. They did the Superwoman special that came out. The Lex Luthor special is interesting because in House of Brainiac, Lex Luthor lost, or I think it was before House of Brainiac, he lost all of his memories. Lex Luthor has no idea who he is in the comics right now, and he's a good person, and pretty much, I guess there's a mystery that the Justice League and Superman need to solve that hinges on Lex remembering his past and knowing who he was, but he doesn't want to remember. He's heard all these awful things about himself, and he's like, I don't want to be that person. I have a chance to be somebody else and not be this person that I guess I've been all my life. But, they need this information, so Superman has to battle with the fact of, do I restore my greatest villain's memories, or do I let him be this person that he wants to be and not force this life onto him?
Should I let him be the voice actor for Mr. Krabs?
But yeah, I think that's really interesting, and that dilemma of I think that could lead for a very interesting story, and I think I'm calling it. We're gonna get 2 Lexes. They're gonna probably. There's some things that's gonna happen where they're gonna
bald
split.
Lex and red hair Lex.
I think so. I think they're somehow gonna split, maybe, or they're gonna make a clone of him that they refill with his memories. So we're gonna have this guy who will probably go on to be somebody else, and then we'll have classical. That's my theory. I think that'd be kind of interesting.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Because then his daughter can have a dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and not Lena can have a dad who actually cares about her and is not a fucking evil supervillain. And I don't know, and that could also be interesting because then Lex will have this other version of himself who probably thinks of his as lesser than and stuff.
Yeah, it's very almost like Superman Red and Blue.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, so I'm excited about that one, releasing on the 29th. And then on the 5th of February, we have a Detective Comics 31 facsimile, which is super early Batman, and that issue is the first appearance of the Batarang and Batman's first ever flying vehicle, the Bat Gyro.
Yep.
Which I think is funny. That was the first thing ever. Bat Euro.
First appearance of the Batarang.
Yeah, dude.
He's gonna get a couple extra copies for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and it's him basically pursuing a hooded criminal through Europe called the Monk.
Leaves the Monk alone.
Maybe he's just chilling. But yeah, I think that's gonna be really interesting. And then the next book we got to talk about is releasing on February 12th. That's the book I was mentioning earlier, the new Green Lantern book coming out. That's going to kind of spin off, I think, from the Fractured Lantern stuff. It's just Green Lantern Corps, and it's going to follow Jon Stewart, Kyle Rayner, Jessica Cruz, Guy Gardner, Joe Mulini.
That seems like just in time for the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doing little vignettes of all the different lanterns.
And stuff. And it's going to be, and I guess there's a villain named Sorrow. They battle Sorrow and his master to stop the creation of a power battery. So there's some sort of maybe Sorrow is a villain and they're trying to like make that like a core.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because they're trying to make a power battery. Maybe they're trying to make the Sorrow lanterns. Mm-hmm. What color would they be like?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. Like,
is magenta already?
No, they already did the
indigo. I'm thinking of indigo.
Yeah,
indigo lanterns.
They've already done the major color spectrum for
all of them, right?
All of them.
So they got to do like fucking lilac. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it would have to be something light related because I know
rainbow lantern.
They did like an ultraviolet lantern before.
Wasn't John Stewart?
Yes.
One of them, because it was like the more light purple one. I remember that. But that's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah.
But this next one is funny. So I think it's a one shot or at least a mini. So it's.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
for this
it's DC versus Vampires World War V.
Yeah, no, it's drawn by like my boy Nicolaj.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of action.
So I was like, guys, if you're gonna title it World War something, I mean, it could be the same war. World War V right now.
Yeah. World War V.
Five.
World War Vampires.
Yeah. Well, because they did World War III and then they did 4.
They did?
Yeah.
For DC Vampires?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Okay, I thought it was World War V because of like World War Vampires.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Oh, damn it! I was gonna say, but
this is the third, I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
it's called Darkness and Light, and it's pretty much Wonder Woman, who is at this point in this universe turned into a vampire, teaming up with Alfred, who at this point is a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it's about both of them. There's like, and it's kind of showing how different their stories are, but how similar they are, and how like. Basically, they're working together to try to survive this new world. Yeah. And I think the idea of Alfred as a Green Lantern and Vampire Wonder Woman working together sounds fucking awesome.
It's great. I'm excited for it. I know there's been like teasers. Like
they're calling it a double feature special issue, so I think it might just be a one shot.
Possibly, but I know.
Yeah, probably one of those square bounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're literally Nicolaj was drawing a lot of just Wonder Woman stuff.
Yeah, I've been seeing he's been posting a lot about it on his story. His art is so good.
It's so good.
I'm really excited for him to do something because I love the issues he did of Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
those
that
were
was
great.
so good. That man needs to be put on like an ongoing.
100. I would love to see him on I don't know, something like Brawly, somebody like very physical.
Yes,
I think would be great.
No,
I can even see him on like a Green Lantern book too. Honestly, I think that could fit his style really cool.
Definitely
a Bane book.
Oh, a Bane book.
That would be sick. Yeah,
that'd be a good.
I bet you in the next few years we're gonna be. Oh, you want to know what's crazy? We're probably gonna be getting because there's rumors that there's gonna be some DC project with Bane as like a main character.
That's true.
Well, rumors that project that was being confirmed is probably gonna be a Secret Six.
Yeah.
Movie, which would be cool, but I'm probably gonna get a Clayface book too if they're gonna do that movie. But yeah, and then last DC book we're gonna talk about, we got Zatanna #1, which I'm happy but also sad about because the last Zatanna miniseries just ended. That was fantastic. Yeah. There should be a trade coming out, I think, in January. If you have not gotten a chance to read it, Zatanna Bring Down the House, phenomenal. If it was my first really, I knew who Zatanna was and I liked her character a lot, but I never really read anything of her like solo wise.
It's very hard to find a solo series. I think this was like her third or fourth one.
Yeah,
she tends to have a lot of minis.
Yeah.
So if you are looking to get into Zatanna or just a general fan of her, please read that book. The art is fantastic. Javier something. He's amazing. Javier Rodriguez, I think. He is also doing the art for Absolute Martian Manhunter, which looks phenomenal too.
Looks very trippy.
It's very and just like in the Zatanna book, he goes full crazy. And I even messaged him on Instagram too, and he responded back. I was like, "Oh, the work is amazing, man. I love your work." And he was like, "Oh, thank you, Ramon." I was like, "Ah." But so this is a new Zatanna book, and I thought it was going to be an ongoing because they just had this one, and I was like, "Oh, they're going to do another ongoing because that one was successful."
Yeah.
No, it's a mini, and I'm sad.
I think they're doing it so they can give plenty of artists a chance to do their own interpretation.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it turns into a Poison Ivy situation where the series is really popular and that they just continue it.
Honestly, fingers crossed on that one.
And it's being written and drawn by Jamal Campbell.
Yeah,
which I'm really
that's
his artwork is great.
Yeah, that's rare in the comic industry.
100
just a solo
creator. And he did the first 6 issues or a good amount of the first arc on the newer Superman book that Joshua Williams was doing, and that's where I was first exposed to him. His art is great. He did Far Sector, and he's done a couple other things. And the fact that he's actually writing it too makes me very excited. And then it's pretty much it's I'm trying to think if there's anything. 1 second. Oh, it looks like her. So pretty much the plot is like her stage crew for her show that she puts on, like to perform in front of people, is like kidnapped, and she has to like go find her stage crew or something like that.
Oh man, that's some like.
And the villain of it is the Lady in White. I think it's a new villain, maybe, or a newer villain. And it's just about her trying to like save her friends.
Yeah, that sounds like a very Scooby-Doo kind of setup. Like
Western Scooby-Doo. I love that shit. But yeah, so that's gonna be the end of Scoob. But that's gonna be the end of the regular just DC singles. We have 3 smaller things to talk about. They're doing the new DC Compact Editions.
Smaller.
But it's funny because these are in the previews for stuff, but they don't come out till later next year. But I just thought we'd remind you about them now, and maybe remind you more in later episodes too.
Plus, there's already some on the shelf.
There are. So in next year, the first one we're talking about that comes out in July, sadly, is for a while. They're doing The Authority, Book 1, which if you have not gotten a chance to read The Authority, I really recommend it. It's just I haven't read. I read the first volume. It's great. It's Warren Ellis and somebody else. And it's really fun. And that Jenny Sparks is a great character. It introduces a lot of fantastic characters. A lot of those characters are really, really great and are very interesting. And a lot of them are going to be rolled over into the new DC stuff because they're making an Authority movie. So if that's something you're interested in, you want to be more familiar with these characters like Midnighter and Apollo, who are awesome, I would definitely recommend searching that out. Or maybe if you want to wait till the Compact Edition comes out.
And if you can't wait for August 5th, we already have New Frontier on the show.
Exactly.
It is a classic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're doing that, and like I said, Heat Funky just said on August 5th, they're reprinting New Frontier, which especially because normally that book is like $45.
Yeah.
Getting it for like 10 is a fucking steal.
Yeah.
But,
Darwin Cook.
I still need to read it. I have not read it yet. And I knew that's going to be a big inspiration on the new DC stuff. Fantastic book. I still need to get to it. I've heard amazing things about it. So, and then last, really quick. In the last Compact Edition that's coming out, we're talking about on August 19th, they're doing a Wonder Woman Blood and Guts, which is the first arc of the Cliff Chang Wonder Woman run.
I'm absolutely excited. That is like
that's a great
my
series.
Go-to recommendation for people who want to get into Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good mixture of classic Greek literature, like storytelling, with modernized action. Like, it's so good.
That's what I'm probably gonna end up picking up because I haven't read that run and I've heard fantastic things.
It's amazing. Like, it is phenomenal.
Alrighty, we have reached the last part of the podcast. This is gonna be I'm thinking how we should do this.
It's gonna be a quick rundown.
We should
let's
go. Let's do like one and like we'll go in a circle. So pretty much we have 34 books we're gonna speed through right now, and these are all of the books releasing.
Free
comic book day books, guys.
It's not even all of them.
It's not all of them.
These are the ones that caught my eye.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I at least left 10 out purposely.
So these are gonna be. So we'll start. I'll start. So I'll start with the first book, and then we'll do Funky, 10, and then Young Nate, and then we'll go back to me, and we're just gonna like boom, 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 boom. If you want to say a couple things about them, that's cool. But we're gonna kind of rapid fire these. So get your ears ready. Perk them up. Listen to what we're talking about.
Free comic book day.
Okay.
So put them on your list.
Like they've done the last year, they're doing an ASM and Ultimate Universe one. That's going to be interesting. So it's going to be teasing stuff for both of those series down the line.
We got Archie Spectacular 2025. So if you're a big fan of Archie, what's it called? Josie and the Pussycats, Sabrina, any of that stuff from that universe, they're going to have a free comic book day. New issue.
Yep. We also got Bad Kitty Gets a Job. I have no idea what that is.
That sounds interesting, though.
Yeah.
Black Mirror #1.
I should have got that one.
Yes,
I love
the
Black
show.
Mirror.
They're doing a Black Mirror thing. That's pretty cool. Then Boom is doing one at 20th. I didn't know Boom's been around for 20 years.
That's wild.
So Boom's doing a 20th anniversary
Good for you,
book.
Boom.
Right?
Yeah.
Funky.
Conan the Barbarian. Not the late night show. I would love a late night show.
Late Night with Conan.
Yeah.
All right. We also got a Critical Role Black Hammer combo.
Gonna be the double.
Dark Finder New Fear. 4 horror comics.
Def Leppard.
Woo! Death Leopard!
Diablo, the video game. Ted knows about that.
Yeah, I know about that. Played too much Diablo 2 back in the day. All right, Dr. Seuss.
Another Energon universe.
3 new stories. There's gonna be a G.I. Joe one in there, Transformers, and a Void Rivals in there. And then after that, they're doing a Fantastic Four and X-Men one and double, and it's gonna be Humberto Ramos who's doing it. So that's pretty cool.
Gargoyles. If you needed more gargoyles, this is a 0 issue for a new series starting.
Hey yo.
All right, Godzilla New Heroes.
I think that's gonna be like a new ongoing or a new mini series that's gonna be starting, which the art looks really good for it. Nate.
Hulk Teach.
Yeah, that's. I saw that.
You gotta do it in the voice.
Yeah.
Hulk Teach.
I don't know what Hulk. I hope it's just him.
It's a
teaching.
kid's book.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a kid's book. He's
Damn
a
it! I was
teacher.
hoping for him to teach him like it's like a kid's book, but it's about nuclear physics or something like
Like
that.
super advanced.
It's like-
It'd be
Oh my-
amazing.
oh my god!
And then they're doing a 10th anniversary of I Heart Fairyland.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
We got Ironheart, but it's also a Marvel Voices free comic book day exclusive with a new character from the animated show.
Oh, Cohorty?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All right, Iron Man and Friends.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Spider-Man and
Yeah, so
Friends.
it's gonna be a more
okay.
new kids book.
Chibi Marvel
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm so glad I got this one. Kagurabachi / Baruto.
I love
Special.
Kagurabachi.
Guys,
Yeah,
it's not a joke. Kagurabachi is
it's
actually
so
good.
good.
Yeah, the manga volume 1 is going to be coming out soon, so check that out. It's very good.
And then we got Lost Marvels, which I guess is going to be a collection of a bunch of older Golden Age stories, probably from Timely.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
Timely
so it's
stories.
like pre-Marvel stuff.
That's
so
pretty fucking
not
cool.
a lot of the superhero stuff, but it's cool.
So
little gem.
probably like
Yeah.
You can still
suspense
get pregnant
stories.
It's
for free Marvel.
Yeah.
They split it up with Fantagraphics. They're
Oh,
the
okay.
ones
Oh,
that
nice.
publish
Okay,
it.
that's
Nice.
cool.
And we got a Mega Man issue 0,
Oh
which
my
means we got a new
God.
Mega Man series coming out.
Yo.
New Jump and Shoot Man.
Yeah,
Alrighty, we also got Minecraft Beyblade manga.
that's
Oh.
on brand.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Pretty
That's
cool.
Yep.
We got Phineas and Ferb.
I fucking love Phineas and Ferb.
Whatever the fuck that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Then,
not Vincent.
that's-
Hey.
Whoever his name is.
that is not even. Look, it's almost there, but it's not. It's like, hey Ferb, what do you want to do today?
How's there not been a Perry the Platypus comic?
Oh my god, I would love a Perry.
dude, like a
Platypus.
hard, like
Yeah.
R. He like just a really messed up one where he's like a noir detective dude.
Dude, I would love a
That'd be
noir
sick.
Perry book. Like,
Right? Then we got Power Rangers VR Trooper.
God,
What is that?
No clue.
that is like something like that is very 90s. Like, I could go into like a whole like thing
Don't.
about it.
Speed Racers and Zero. Issue 0,
I
which
have been-
means we got a new Speed Racer on
Yeah,
the
I've
way.
been hearing rumors about it. Apparently, Tatsunoko wants to do a new Speed Racer anime series. So,
Cool.
Oh, okay.
yeah. All right, we got Star Wars new stories.
Okay.
Young Jedi, last Avatar. It's combined.
Oh wow.
No, but the Star Wars New Stories is above that one.
Oh, shit.
So there's there's Star Wars New Stories and then Star Wars Young Jedi Last Avatar. So we can
Yeah.
kind of move one.
2
Put
for
those
1.
in one, yeah.
Stitch best food forever.
So new Lilo and Stitch thing.
Nice.
They got Street Fighter versus Rival Schools
Yeah.
number 1.
Oh my God! Rival Schools. Capcom hasn't touched that series in forever.
Hey!
Hey,
And then the book I didn't know I needed. Thundercats and Powerpuff Girls together.
That's pretty cool.
that would that goes hard.
Random.
We got the Phantom number 0.
We got Transformers, the worst spot ever.
I think he's like a pencil or
He's
something
like
like
a
that.
pen, yeah.
That is definitely worst spot ever.
But yeah, and then last one, Valiant.
Oh, wow, okay. You know what?
There's a Valiant one, free comic book.
So we are going to see
That's-
that one Valiant fan.
Oh my god. Well, that is going to be the last free comic book day book, and that means that's also the end of the podcast, guys.
Wow.
We made
Last
it.
podcast of the year.
Last podcast of the year.
year.
Last pod on. That's another last podcast. Last pod on.
I'll see y'all next year.
You won't actually.
Maybe.
You'll see Funky at some point. Over the next few episodes. So, also really quick, we're gonna be doing some restructuring over the next year. Probably gonna try to like make this because there's not a lot of rewatchability with these because we're kind of talking about just new books coming out. So in 2 months we're kind of out of date.
Unless
So
you
we're
guys
gonna-
are just really loving our voices.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to start doing some other stuff too, expand our horizons a little bit. Still do new books, maybe just not talk about as many, and try to spend more of the pod just talking about general news, maybe other comic book stuff going around in the industry, stuff going on with certain adaptations, new DC
Yeah.
stuff, new Marvel stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Talk
just,
about Marvel Rivals and the most
Exactly.
toxic character. Why is it Jeff Blanchard?
Exactly. Well, maybe we start doing polls too on
Yeah.
Comic Book Hideout thing about what topics we want to talk about, like on our Instagram, and you guys can follow us on there and vote for like maybe we'll do a video on a specific comic book. Maybe we'll do one talking about Marvel Rivals. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
do one. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different opportunities that we want to explore for what
Yeah.
we can do with this.
10 gets drunk and talks about Power Rangers and VR Troopers.
Dude, a drunk episode
I
would be
think
great.
I think you'd be able to do that without being drunk.
But imagine how much funner it would be.
Yeah, no, like,
But
there's like so much. There's so much about the Tokusatsu.
You're like, you know what I like? Zordon.
And talk about how Tommy Zacker was originally supposed to be in VR Troopers, but then they're like, no, you're too good for VR Troopers. We need a sixth Ranger.
hey,
Yeah.
so if you want stuff like that, comment, rate us on Spotify and stuff like that. Comment on the YouTube, message us on Instagram. Give us some feedback. Give us stuff you want to see from us and things of that nature.
Mhm.
But as always, thank you guys. It's been the Nates. It's been Funky. It's been Ramon. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Happy holidays.
If you made it all the way through, that's crazy, guys. Thank you for getting here. Give yourself draw a little star on your hand so you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, I finished the podcast.
Yeah, draw on her hand, come up to us, show it to us, and we'll give you a high five.
Yeah, we'll give you maybe a piece of candy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Ooh, piece of candy. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Episode 9. We'll see you in the new year with hopefully some new content that you guys will be enjoying.
Yeah.
But yeah. Bye.
Bye.
What's that in your blood war?
Pre-order Power Hour, the Comic Book Hideout podcast, is hosted by Ramon Casada, Nate Basil, Nathan Smith, and Mark Garcia. It is produced by Glenna Speak and Bryce Rankins. This episode was edited by Ramon Casada. Logo designed by Nate Basil. Find us on Instagram at Comic Book Hideout. The opinions voiced by the host of this podcast do not necessarily reflect that of Comic Book Hideout Incorporated. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.